It looks like it's been there for like 100 years. It could quite possibly close up your throat.
It's Bushcraft Camp 2.0.
It's not as good as that one we made, is it?
No, that was a beast. That was good. That was really good.
See you in the morning. Good night.
Somewhere here. Okay. Lovely like soil here. Yeah, they're really invisible. That's the only downside of these things. Right.
Wait, give me that. Well, folks, look who it is. It's Mike, TA Outdoors.
It's been a while, mate.
It's been a while. Okay, let's rewind about 3-4 years.
Easily, yeah.
Easily. Myself and Mike, we have built a lot of shelters, quite big projects as well. Smaller ones, smaller little lean-to shelters. I remember a wigwam one we did, but the big ones, a lot of you guys will remember, the Viking house and the roundhouse. Since then, Mike kind of moved slightly further up country. We've teamed up today. We're going to spend 24 hours in the woods. I've got some food. You'll find out later what it is. Stay tuned to see what we really get up to.
Do one more here.
So before we get any further into the video, Mike is going to take us on a little woodland tour. Up for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So many of you watching will probably follow Mike's channel as well, and you'll remember about 3, maybe 4 years ago, Mike bought a bit of woodland. Lovely bit of woodland. It's my first time coming up here. I've got to admit, I'm very, very jealous. Mike, you've got an absolute beauty of a woodland right here.
It is lovely.
It's nice and flat, loads of resources, straight wood, bent wood, dry wood, green wood, everything you need for a bushcraft project. So we're approaching this cabin. So Mike, what was this one of the first things you built here when you got the woodland?
Yeah, it was in year 1, definitely. We had that massive ash tree, which we'll show you later. And it was raised off the ground, and we thought the wood's going to be really good inside it because it wasn't rotting away where it was leaning totally on the ground. So we got someone to come out, a friend of ours, to mill it up into planks. Put it into planks.
So those are the planks you've used for the cabin?
That's 100-year-old ash.
100-year-old ash that's come from about 50 metres that way, if that.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. That is, you can't get any more local, building materials than that.
And you wouldn't normally clad with ash. It's more of an indoor wood. Furniture, floorboards and things like that. But because it's so vertical, the rain just hits it and runs off.
Yes.
So if it was on a roof, like cedar, you would use cedar shingles on a roof because they're really rot resistant.
Yeah.
If you used ash on a roof, it would just rot because the water just seeps into the grain.
Right, so it's quite porous.
Yeah, so when it's like that, if it's a steep apex or a steep pitch, you can get away with using it. Yeah, because the water just runs off.
More, the water can hang around and it kind of sponges in.
It's going to get rot.
And it starts rotting the wood.
Yeah, so that, because it's totally vertical, it just runs off.
Let's go and check it out.
We've got our pièce de résistance is the old awning that I had on my truck, if you remember it, from years ago. We just installed it there.
Why not, you know?
Exactly, yeah. It's just it wasn't being used at all in the garage, so now we can roll that out in the summer months, winter months. Have a nice porch area. There's a window here which opens like this. If I open it like that, this one opens like that, and we just kind of prop it open.
Lovely,
like
lovely
job. So I've got a nice view of the forest out here, the best kind of view of the forest, with the garlic coming up now.
Loads of wild garlic right there. So much of it. This stuff, really, really potent.
Yeah. Good.
You know it's wild garlic when you pick it and you smell it. You can't go wrong.
So next up, I've got a little jackery thing, like a power bank.
Yep.
Which if I power it on, there you go. That does
brilliant. Look
little
at that.
String lighting.
Fairy lights up there.
Yeah, little fairy lights all the way around the edge. It's enough to just light it and not be too harsh.
And a wood stove.
Wood stove.
Brilliant. Sink as well. No way.
Yeah, so this, I normally bring the water in. If I'm not here for a while, I won't have any water hooked up.
Yeah.
But I'll bring it in. I've got a waste container down there.
Yeah.
Then I put the fresh water in there, and then it just works like.
Oh, it's like
double tap it.
It's an electric pump.
Yeah. So and it's USB chargeable, so I can just charge it on the jackery afterwards. It's more for washing hands and stuff. And like if I'm prepping meat and things, I can just wash my hands here. It's not really so much for drinking water. I'll bring that in, but it's magnetic, and you can just charge it up afterwards.
I love that. That's such a great idea. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, really cool. And then this, you double tap that. Yeah, and then it's got a light as well. It's cool, isn't it? I've got a lot of my chainsaw gear in here at the moment. It's a bit messy, but this is one of Dad's screw things. Unfortunately, there's a tarp out there now, which is covering the view.
Oh yeah.
But that's the view out there at the moment.
There is a great view out the back, isn't there?
Really
Look
good
at that.
Yeah, I need to move the tarp.
That's it. Wake up in the morning, cup of tea, cup of coffee, open the window, watch the animals in the field. There's sheep, and there's probably what you see. You ever seen any deer in that field?
Yes, you do actually. Yeah, you get hair, a lot of hair in there.
Hair, wild hair.
Wild hair in there. Yeah, you get a lot of those. Oh. And then it's mostly storage. The primary thing of this whole thing is storage. So I keep my camping gear in here. I keep my woodland gear in here, chainsaws, axes. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of this. It's a storage shop.
It's quite secure, I guess, as well, isn't it?
That's the thing. It's to secure the tools, keep everything there, and then when it's really raining and cold, I've got a stove to keep warm. I've got somewhere to wash my hands. If you've got, like I say, if you're preparing meat or if you've got stuff in your hands you can wash off.
Do you know what, Mike? I love how you've got tiles.
Yeah, that would be my dad.
Of course,
who's decided to put bathroom tiles. I have no idea what the fire rating of a bathroom tile is, but I'm pretty sure they're not meant to be by a wood stove. So you know that's my dad, where he's gone, oh, don't buy any more of that checker plate. I've got some old bathroom
I've got some old tiles in the garage. Use them up first.
White tiles, yeah, horrendous.
But I bet when that thing is going in here, it's toasty.
It's really warm.
So where do you sleep when you're in here? I guess you.
If I do, I have a fold-out bed just there. If I need to crash for the night, I'll just fold that out in here.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
I guess you could always put like a screw in that corner and.
Like a hammock.
Oh no, a hammock. Actually, yeah, maybe not there and there. Maybe behind
that corner. Yeah, you could.
Maybe that corner to that corner.
Yeah.
Emergency hammock.
You could do actually.
But if not, use the bed. I mean, I used to do a lot of hammock camping, but to be honest with you, these days I like sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Does my back in hammock camping.
A great shed. Love what you've done. How long did this take then, from day one until finishing it?
Probably over the course of 6 weeks, but it takes longer when you're filming it.
Oh, absolutely.
But really, in terms of the actual building part, maybe 10 days.
10 days.
10 days if you added it up over time from when we did it. Similar to how we did the Viking house.
Yeah.
They all take about 10 days, don't they?
But I love the fact that you've used this wood from the woodland.
Yeah, from the ash.
The ash tree that's come down in a, what is it, a storm? No, in fact,
in a big storm.
When you bought the woodland, was
When
the
I
ash
bought
tree
it,
already down?
It was already
or
down,
not?
and it came down in a big storm. I spoke to one of the locals. It came down in a big storm maybe 2 or 3 years before I bought it.
Right.
So that's why I was like, let's use that wood while it's there.
So that's why it's really, well, it seems pretty well seasoned.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it's
Lovely
really
bit of wood.
So
Well, that is the cabin.
Yeah.
Right, what's next?
the Bushcraft camp, which
Let's
I'm
go.
still working on.
Mike, I've just realised you've actually got a little portaloo. No, what do you call it? Like a long drop eco compost toilet.
Yeah. There's a little latch.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, this is again one of Dad's projects.
Well, this will be a first. I've shown people around shelters in the past. I've been shown around shelters in the past. I've never asked to see someone's toilet. Bit of an odd request, but let's have a look.
It's a bit. There's a spider that's made a pretty nice.
Nice. Was this? Is that pallet wood as well?
Yeah, pallet wood. Yeah.
Pallet wood is so
Pallet
good,
wood
isn't it?
toilet. Yeah.
Look at that. Don't worry, I'm not going to film in the hole.
No.
But you can all imagine.
Yeah.
There's a hole down there because we can see there's soil right there. So
Yeah,
that's obviously come out of that hole.
Quite a long hole as well. Quite a deep one.
Quite a deep hole.
Yeah, 4 or 5 feet.
Brilliant. Love it.
It's good.
Just what you need. You blaming your dad for not putting the toilet seat down again?
Yeah. Although this is ash.
So this is what looks like, is this like a bit of a wood store, like building materials wood store?
This been up since like week 2 of owning the woods.
What, this tarp?
Yeah, this is a DD tarp that is somehow survived all the storms we've had over the last 5 years.
Wow.
Testament to DD. There is a few rips in it now.
That is a good advert for DD.
Yeah,
okay, a couple of rips, but look, it's still up after 5 years.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's quite rare.
It is. Well then.
And this is it, Bushcraft Camp 2.0.
So this is where the big 100-year-old ash tree was, there. That went all the way along here, all the way up there. And this is what we made the cabin out of. This kitchen unit, the sort of storage shelter thing here, that was made from the ash.
What, so this is ash as well?
From that tree, yeah.
Ash.
Yeah.
Plenty of wood left over, lots of hazel there.
Yeah, there's lots of hazel. And then we come over here and then we built this pizza oven.
Brilliant,
We've
look
had
at it.
Birds nest in it actually. I've got it sorted. They brought all this moss in
No
last
way.
year and they nested in here. They flew in through the top.
Do you know what sort of birds they were?
I don't know actually. I never really got to see them coming in and out because I was away at the time they did it.
I
But
love it.
yeah, it's
Brilliant, look at it.
100-year-old
Brick.
clay bricks those are. At least 100
Absolute
years.
beauty. And wooden shingles.
These
so
are cedar shingles. These.
cedar
this
shingles.
This was just I just brought those into the woods to add some spare ones.
A really good
A
job.
little log store underneath, and then
It looks like it's been there for like 100 years.
exactly that's what we wanted. Something that would age well.
This was a great idea as well.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
cool.
that. Cut to shape, little
Yeah.
handle on it.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that so much. I reckon we should cook food in there tonight.
Yeah, that
rather
would have
than on
been
the
good.
grill.
Yeah, we'll have to do an episode here.
But what about the birds?
I know, yeah, we've got to get, that's what I mean, we've got to clear it out before they start nesting again. Clear it out and have a fire. And then I've just got a shelter there. Still working on this.
So this is the latest project?
Yeah, this is the latest project, just a lean-to shelter.
Yeah.
Camping in and stuff.
Again, using
Hazel and ash.
hazel ash
Posts.
and a tarp as well.
Just a tarp, I'm going to cover in leaves and camo netting or something.
And a little deer skull right there.
Yeah.
Did you find that in the woods?
No, I think Dad found that. In a different woodland, but he did
Different
find it,
woodland.
yeah.
Looks the part.
It does look good, yeah.
Bit like the Viking house we built.
That's it, he brought all the sable head,
Yeah.
didn't he?
The Viking horns and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So that's it, yeah, little
And this is the big old ash tree.
This is where the TA axes originally came from as well.
So all the axe handles from the TA axes have come from this tree right
from the
here.
first 100 axes, yeah.
From the first 100 axes. And
Yeah.
this is what? A couple of hundred years
It's
old?
100 years old, yeah. We did a
100-year-old
ring
tree.
count on it and it is 100. I think it was 101 or 102, maybe 102.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was all, I mean, it's a beast when you look at it. The size of the trunk of it. It was big.
And a little bench as well, you know.
Yeah, oak seat. This is oak.
Perfect.
Yeah. Little fire pit.
I love the fire pit.
Decent. It's your type of fire pit, that, isn't it?
That is definitely my type of fire pit. Yeah, you know, with the hanging, with the hanging pot hangers and perfect. I love it. I love it. Have you found that when you've had fires, you've had to replace these because they burn?
Yeah, not too much because I've made them widen. You can see the fire's got close though.
Yeah.
It started to when I get bigger fires.
You just got to make sure you don't have a fire that big that it spreads and catches these alight.
It starts to catch those alight, yeah.
Even though if it does catch, you just replace it, don't you?
And we put a load of sand in here to begin with just to protect the...
That's a good idea.
But yeah, so it's
little chopping area.
Yeah, that's all part of the ash as well, same ash tree.
Is that a sawhorse?
Dodgy old sawhorse. That was again made in the first month of owning the woods.
It's not as good as that one we made, is it?
No, that was a beast. That was good. That was really good, that one. Yeah, does the job though.
Definitely does the job. Alright, we'll just do a little pan around. Got Amber, we got this log store, a little table there. I've got a few bits for dinner tonight. Got the clay oven with the shingled roof, the old ash tree, and then a fairly new shelter. And of course we have Amber. So Mike, any other projects for your bushcraft camp right here?
I think other than just maybe another lead tea shelter then, so when I have someone with me, another mate over like yourself or something that wants to camp, we've got 2 different places then.
Good idea, so for a rainy day.
Yeah, exactly. It's more, yes, we're tucking under. Honestly, when you're doing woodland management and it's peeing down with rain, it's so nice.
You need someone to hide.
To have somewhere really quick to go to rather than have to hike it all the way back to the cabin.
To the cabin,
yeah. When you're working different areas of the woods, it's just nice to just quickly duck under places.
And that's because we're in England and it'll be sunny one minute and the next minute it'll rain. That's life over here. If you look down, you can see what looks like grass. It's actually the beginning of these bluebells and they're only just starting to flower. Come on then, this way. And here we are back at camp. So we are camping probably about 30-40 meters away from the village, which is up there. Our camp is there, and the cabin, you can just about see it through the trees over there.
Look at that, decent fit.
So that was the tour of the camp, and now we're about to cook some food. I've got some food with me, I'm gonna cook it on the grill, but I forgot to bring tongs because I've got some meat, and to turn the meat on the grill with the grill being super hot is pretty tricky. So I need a bit of green wood, and this is the sort of wood I'm looking for. Green, fresh, still alive. You can see the shoots are just starting to come out in it there. This is hazel. I'm gonna find a nice straight bit, cut some off, bend it in half, take the bark off it, turn it into tongs. So I'm just sawing halfway into this wood, which will allow me to crack it in half. Now what I have to do is remove this, and this is the sort of thing you can do without using a knife. Take that one off, bend this one over. Come on. Okay, this is the beginning of our tongs. Cooking good in the woods. Do you like a bit of hot sauce, hot mayo?
Yes, I do.
Bit wild garlic.
Absolutely.
So, chicken wing?
Yes, please. Look at this.
So just to recap, there's a bit of oil on the chicken wings, a bit of paprika, mixed herbs. Finish it off with the spicy mayo and a bit of wild garlic. They're gonna be hot, as in heat hot. Maybe a bit spicy.
Oh, they're lovely. That's really nice.
I can feel already they're really hot.
That garlic's actually really good with it.
Good, yeah?
Yeah.
First bit of wild garlic I've had this year.
Oh, mate, that is perfect.
Beautifully cooked. Bones just fall out. Look at that. Not a bone there.
That is lovely. And that's just the starter.
A few more beers in a minute. Build up our appetite. You know how it is when you're camping in the woods. Oh, time for a burger.
Look at this. Oh, lost a bit of salad.
Bit of onion. Look at that. Brioche bun, bit of bacon on top, melted cheese, bit of sauce, salad. You can't. Everyone loves a burger, and just I think
You can't go wrong, can you?
you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You definitely can't go wrong with a burger.
Very good.
So good, and the crispy bacon as well. So a few minutes ago, when we were cooking the burgers, one of the burgers, when I was flipping it, it actually broke. So we decided to let it cool and give it to Amber. Now she's been sitting here for about 10 minutes while it cools down, and all she wants to do is gulp it down, so now's the time. Oh, look at that!
Lucky Amber.
Hey, was that good? Cheers,
Cheers.
mate. Well, you know, in the woods, watching a little survival video.
I did not know what that species was, but that could be one of the most venomous spiders on the planet, and I have no idea. It does creep me out a bit, I'm not gonna lie. The outside of the show are complete.
Oh, good girl, Amber. Hey. Hey. Good night. Well, it's that time of night. I'm going to bed. Mike is going to bed. See you in the morning. Good night. Good morning from the woods. So, how did I sleep? Beautifully. All the way through, didn't wake up at all. It was nice and warm, although it was meant to be about 4 degrees. Last night, after the food, we put the cameras away, cracked a few beers open, and to be honest with you, we just had a really good catch up, talking about ideas, future plans, projects we could do. Basically, it was just a really good evening catching up with Mike because it's been so many years since we've had a camp out. And as you can see, it's a beautiful day today, real nice spring day. There's a few sheep in the field, saw a deer earlier on, a few buzzards. Now I'm going to head back for a sausage sandwich and a cup of tea. So last night we cooked up some chicken wings and we picked a bit of wild garlic. In fact, I think we picked about 2 or 3 of these leaves, folded them, chopped them very finely. They were sprinkled on top of the chicken that we cooked over the barbecue. Now there's one thing I'd like to point out for anyone watching this that lives in an area where there's wild garlic, and that is a toxic plant that grows amongst all this wild edible garlic. And this is it right here. So you can see here we've got all this wild garlic, but growing in amongst it is this almost heart-shaped leaf. And the plant I'm talking about is called Lords and Ladies. When you eat it, it can give you a real stinging sensation in your mouth and in your throat, and it could quite possibly close up your throat. So the one thing you want to do is look for this long wild garlic, almost cow's tongue like shape. What you don't want to pick is this. So I'll just put the two together. Wild garlic, Lords and Ladies, edible, toxic. That's really important if you're into your foraging, or especially if you live in the UK at the moment where there's lots of this wild garlic growing in the woodlands. Oh, sausage and cheese.
Yeah. Throw some cheese in there. These are Tesco finest, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
Pork and caramelised onion. Look at that. Bon appetit.
Time for breakfast, eh? Awesome. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Mmm. Mmm.
They're good, aren't they?
They're really good sausages. Yeah. What did you say they are?
It's pork and caramelised onion. That's why they're nice and sweet.
Mmm. Lovely. Not for you, Amber. This one?
Won't need to eat lunch after that.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
It's so funny, she just knows there's one sausage left.
Like, just feed me. This was Amber's bed last night. She was tucked away in the corner of the tent, nice and warm.
Ugh, sausage. What do you want to do with this sausage? Trust me, it's hot.
Mike's just picking the fire out. So folks, we're approaching the end of our camp out. Bit of a short video, this one. It was mainly just to really get together with Mike, cook a bit of food, have a few beers, have a chat about future projects for this year. If you've got any ideas or any project ideas that we could do here in Mike's Woodland, please let me know in the comments. The problem with having a dog, especially a Labrador, is that they're always hungry, they're always looking for food, and now look at her, she's licking the grill. Shh, don't tell Mike. As we put the fire out, I forgot to burn the tongs, so I'm going to get them away from Amber, my dog, and I'm just going to leave them up there. Mike's just poured a load of water down onto the fire, and I'm just going to give it a stir. The last thing we want is for this fire to spread underground. But the good thing is, at the moment, the ground is actually quite wet, but it's always best to play it safe and just to give it an extra bit of water to make sure that your fire has totally gone out. Look at that. All we have to do now is throw a few leaves on it, and as they say, leave no trace. And there we are, all packed away. As Hayes Outdoors says, leave no trace. Or is it leaf no trace? Well, that is it for this very short episode. It was just a catch up with Mike. Nothing really happened, to be honest with you, but we were just saying it's been about 3, maybe 4 years since we've camped out, and it's been good to just catch up, not really have a major project to get involved in or build.
It's been relaxing for a change. Normally our episodes are really stressful.
Because there's pressure, we've got deadlines.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really good. Great food last night. I slept really well, actually. Beautiful morning today. We have been talking about plans or ideas for projects. Like I mentioned a minute ago, if you've got any ideas or project ideas that you would like to see myself and Mike get together and build, please let me know in the comments. And also, please go and drop Mike a comment. Tell him that I sent you. See you next week. Goodbye.